we're looking at the beginning of all things e-commerce, the product. There's products all over the show, but in this video, we're going to be focusing on the data, because I believe that the scientific method is the best way to ensure that you end up with a winning product and not just trash. Let's go. So the tool we're looking at today is Viral Launch. It's primarily based for Amazon product research, and they have an extension for Amazon as well. So Amazon is a monument in e-commerce. It's an absolute monolith. And what essentially is going on is it's a dropshipping site. People, vendors, sellers, they use it as a fulfillment center and as a shipping center to get products to the customers. So what we're going to do today is we're going to learn about products themselves and vendors and their creatives through Viral Launch. And then we're going to take that knowledge and we're going to use it in our own Shopify stores. We can go through and use their analysis tools to figure out what is selling well, a whole bunch of metrics. This website is amazing. You can look at margins, you can look at keywords, and so much more. We can use the data that we find on Viral Launch to just put our products from AliExpress onto a different store. Instead of putting it on Amazon and being an Amazon vendor, we can just replicate the product, find a similar one on AliExpress, and put it through our online store on Shopify. I assume that you guys are using Shopify because it is one of the biggest online sales channels. So let's get started. This is Viral Launch. Go to virallaunch.com, start an account. There is a 14-day trial. It is a little buggy at the time of this recording on the trial version at least. I sent them an email about that. Maybe once you've watched this video, they might have fixed it. And you essentially get 15 free searches a day. I already tried opening it in a private browser and that doesn't work. It just asks you to log in again. So I tried.
And I'm doing my best. I'm just doing my best. Just doing my best.
But essentially 15 searches a day is actually really decent. And that is 15 searches throughout all of their different tools. And we will see just how many different tools they've got. And they're great. With that in mind, let's jump into Viral Launch. So once you've logged in, you're going to land right here and it's going to say, validate your next product idea. And you can just put in, whatever you want to sell. But what I've found is that if you go to the product discovery and click search, you get a far more in-depth tool. And as I was discussing earlier, you only get 15 free keyword searches, and it's a little buggy. I haven't actually searched anything today, and it's already saying I only have 11. So I would probably do a little bit of preparation before you dive into this tool. I kind of know what I'm looking for here, so I'm just gonna go for it. If you start on product, I would move to keyword to get a bit more data, and then I'll show you brand and category later. In the revenue, I'd probably put like 5,000, and then review count, I go 150. I'm not too worried about the price and the monthly sales right now. Then in keyword contains, you want to put in your niche. So I'm kind of keen to sell gloves. And then you just press show keywords. Cool, so right at the top, we've got a pretty cool seller. It's going to show us the best time for selling. It's a seasonal sales pattern, which makes sense with gloves. It's cold in the winter, people are going to be buying more of them. It's a big niche. This is obviously something that most people are going to need. We can see a big sales change and a review increase. And then up the top, we've got the price of the actual product and the margin itself. The average sales, the average reviews, which is huge, and then sales to reviews. That just means for this nearly 3,000 sales and 1,000 reviews, you're gonna get 3 sales to reviews. And then it's up to you if you wanna just jump into Amazon, have a look at it, and it's gonna just basically type in this popular keyword into the search bar for you, and then you can have a look at what's kind of going on. Or you can view it on Market Intelligence, which I'll get to later in the video. And another thing I really like about this product tool is that you can pin the keyword. I really like when I'm doing product research to sort of organize everything and then come back to it over the week. I don't want to just have 50 tabs open. So I like having a little bit of a pin system so you can keep it organized. One thing I wanted to show you is that they have a saturated product warning, and that hasn't come up on any of these, which is actually probably pretty good. So we can see there's a few different things. We've got an inside glove, we've got an outdoor warm glove, we've got some bicycle gloves, and then we've got some stylish women's gloves. So this is giving us a really good overview of the whole niche of just gloves, because that's all that I really put in. I wasn't looking at a micro niche here. and we can see, what is sort of doing well. We can see that the bicycle gloves have actually gone down and the wool gloves for women have gone up. So that's just going to give you a bit of a brief overview of the keyword search. Now let's have a look at the brand search. This is really for competitors. So I'm looking at selling a bees wrap, and I know that there's a couple of stores on Amazon already. So if I wanted to have a look at what they're actually doing, I would put in the exact name. So I know that one of the big competitors in the organic bee wrap space is Bees Wrap. Really simple, it's good for the search engine optimization and the keywords. And we can have a look. They've got 37 products. They're doing 7.5 thousand monthly sales. They've got an awful lot of reviews, and their average price is $17.50. And then you can see the revenue, and they're obviously high success. And then obviously you're gonna get a lot more results if you, sign in and subscribe. But I think that's really quite useful. It's kind of similar to Commerce Inspector, where you've got an insider knowledge into how they're doing. And I personally find it pretty cool. Once you're in category, you can sort of just go through and figure out what is doing well within a select niche. So maybe we go industrial and scientific. That sounds kind of cool. I kind of know where I stand in terms of my skill level. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do 20K a month. So I'll just put in 5,000 to have a look at the competitors and the niche in general. I do want it to be somewhat respectable. So I'll put 150 in the minimum review count. Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, so here we've got this popular result warning, which is just going to say that it's actually, a bit saturated. So what this actually is 3D printers. Who would have thought that this is a saturated niche? This is something I really enjoy about product research is you get in and you're like, I didn't know that people were selling 3D printers on Amazon for $2,000. Turns out they are. Another popular result is lamps. As I talked about in previous videos, it's done really well on Instagram. Not much opportunity for market share here, and the brands are 3 out of 10. So let's have a look at the lamps. And then it's going to actually show us exactly what kind of lamps are doing really well. Okay, so that is pretty much the product discovery. I really hope that you guys have a play around with it. Let me know in the comments below what you found. If it was cool, if you found any groovy products, please get in touch. Now let's have a look at the market intelligence tab. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can just pop it in here. You can put in Bees Wrap, and you'll be able to see what's going on. So straight away I can see that this company has done something really cool, and that's they've used the actual product name for their brand name. So they're dominating what shows up here. And then you can see all of their products. You can see the sales rating, the revenue, the price, the margins, the sales, the review quantity. You can see I think this is a really great metric for what's doing well. And obviously these ones are going to be highlighted as an outlier. And if you go in and you have a look at the statistics, I can kind of tell that the assorted set of 3 is just killing it. So it is an outlier in terms of its success compared to their other products, but I've had a look at the brand and I know that that's just a really good product and I would buy it anyway. But if you kind of see that some of these products, truly off the charts, you can just untick this and it won't include it in the analysis. But I know that that's a really good product, so I want to have a look at it. So yeah, so much to learn here. And if you click into any of these unit margin, you can have a look at what's going on. They're drop shipping it. As you can see, they don't have an inventory. They've got a handling fee and a referral fee through the Amazon. And that would obviously be different on their website. Now, the second way of looking at market intelligence is to actually just go on Amazon itself. So let's have a look at gloves again. So this kind of looks like a woman's wool gloves, like how we were looking at the beginning. They're actually unisex, but kind of marketing it to women. So what you want to do once you've found your product is just navigate to your extensions and open the Viral Launch Market Intelligence extension. And then you're going to see a whole bunch of information here. Review count. So using this to map onto your own Shopify store, how many people have reviewed it. Really good thing to start with, because if nobody's been buying the product, nobody would have been reviewing the product. And social proof is so important when you're marketing a product. You don't want to forget it. The review rating is really high as well, so 4.5, solid. Obviously you can see the price, you can see that anyway, but this back-end stuff like monthly sales from this store is really useful. Then you have more overview data like product idea score. Obviously, everybody who lives in a cold area probably already owns a pair of gloves, so it's kind of a 1 out of 5 from Viral Launch. So you can see the brand here, the title obviously, but really the nitty-gritty is just if you scroll to the right. You can see the bestseller rank over the last 30 days, the revenue of the store, then even more importantly, things like the margin of the product. And all of this will be very useful for you to sort of map on to AliExpress through DSs and sell a similar product on your own store. Then you can get into the nitty-gritty of the reviews. Obviously in the Northern Hemisphere, it's colder in the later months of the year, November to February. And so the reviews for this have gone up, and I'm sure that the sales have correlated with that as well. Okay, so, I mean, this is November and this is December, the coldest months of the year, but this probably correlated with their marketing. Yeah, and you can see here that the summer months were really dry for this product, and then people start buying them for the winter. You can see who fulfilled it and when it was posted. So it's a 3-year-old product. And then the net profit of the store. All of this is kind of useful to look at if you're comparing yourself against another brand in the niche. But I really think these here are the most important nuggets. But yeah, you can take this. Some of these are for a premium subscription. Like if you want to have a look at the brand, Viral Launch is going to ask me to upgrade. There you go. I really think that these margins are really useful. They probably tried to have a sale here. Let's have a look. So November 22nd, let's see if they increased sales. Yeah. Oh, no, November. Okay, so they did have a peak, but doesn't exactly correlate with that drop in price. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, you kind of get a general idea. It's just going to give you an overview and a little bit more of a back-end insight into the products themselves that you probably can't garner from the front end. So you're going to want to be sourcing a product with a high review rating. Most of the time, you want to stay away from markets that are full of vendors. I mean, more people running somewhat similar Facebook ads these days on a similar product is going to be difficult to get into. Bear in mind that all of this is within the context of Amazon. So I would take it with a pinch of salt in regards to dropshipping. And of course, you're going to want to migrate these products over to your store. Just double check that the product exists wherever you're doing fulfillment using something like DSs or Oberlo. And then you can just search for similar products over on AliExpress. So you essentially just want to be taking, the keywords over to AliExpress, and you should be able to find something quite similar, usually the case. And then you'd want to put this into DSs, which easily you just copy the link, open DSs, open the product import list, and drop it in there. And then bingo. I'd always recommend editing the product in DSs, getting a feel for what variants you want to actually sell, changing the description, making sure all of the images are congruent to your brand, and making sure the reviews are actually decent. Because one thing you can do is push it to Shopify and then you figure out that, oh, actually there isn't any reviews. Just by chance, there's actually a lot of reviews here. Then I would be pushing it to Shopify once you've sorted all of that out. Bingo. But yeah, this tool is absolutely brilliant. I might consider buying the trial. I've got a few products under my sleeve right now anyway, but maybe in a couple of months I will buy the subscription and then I'll make another video and show you guys what I really think about it. There are a few things that you're going to want to look for. We've got a bit of philosophy and a bit of technicality. So first off, when you're looking for products, I would be looking at small and durable products that are easy to manage, lightweight, that you can return without any stress. Another thing I want to note is a mistake that sellers make. What you can do when you're selling things is you can sell fragile items without really taking into account that they could just break when they're being shipped. This happened to me recently because I've started drop shipping coffee cups. They're made out of biodegradable plastic made from straw, and they're actually really durable. But when the first one arrived to my house so I could take product photos of it, the box itself had been completely destroyed. It was wet, there was a massive hole in it, not so large that the cup could fall out, but if it had been a fragile product, it would have just fallen straight out, and it was very lucky to not have any scratches or marks on it, but that could easily happen to you as well. So when you're picking your product, you definitely want to consider something that's really durable, really lightweight, something that's not going to get destroyed or broken, like jewelry that's fragile, or supplements that could get ripped open in a plastic bag. This goes hand in hand with the price. So you want to be selling $10 to $50, and on that price, you want to have a 50% profit margin. Also, profit margins in dropshipping are commonly viewed to be great if they are 3 times the cost price. I'm selling a product for $19 and we're sourcing it for $4, and so that's about $9 profit minus $5 for shipping. I mean, importantly, if you're selling something above $10 USD, I would be looking for a $15 profit margin. The products you look at should also be in a niche that are not dominated by big brand names, which is why most dropshippers stay away from things like phones, because Samsung and Apple are obviously dominating that. And we focus on smaller, new, novel products that people can't buy in a shop just down the road. These are interesting products that you can find only online. And yeah, if you have a smaller, more niche product, you're going to be able to grab a little bit of the market share. One thing I want to suggest you could look for is a micro niche, because this is essentially going to put you up against less vendors and give you more access to market share within the niche. If you're a beginner, I really think this is a good move because it does put you up against less vendors. If you're not a beginner, feel free to school me in the comments below because I always want to learn. But I think this works pretty well. Let's make an example out of this. So right now I'm living and working in an Airbnb. Some of you earlier subscribers probably noticed that the background has changed. I'm in the USA, not in New Zealand. Now, while I'm working at this Airbnb, I'm getting a bit of free rent because, you know, always trying to hustle. Now, on the Airbnb site, we advertise that we don't use polyester sheets. We only use 100% cotton sheets. Before I came here, I didn't even know that there was a difference. Now, this polyester versus cotton sheets is a micro niche. If you were to go into selling just general sheets, under the umbrella of sheets, you are going to be going up against big brand names. So when you're beginning with e-commerce, I think it's important to get down and specific and find something that has a bit less competition. Side note, as Charles Bukowski wrote, the problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubts, while the stupid ones are full of confidence. Now, what I take that to mean is that people who take the time to think things through are slow to act. And people who don't really think things through are quick to act. Now in marketing, I think it pays to be full of confidence. And of course, it's going to help if you're prepared and have a lot of data as well. In product research in general, I think it's very important to be interested in your niche and in life. So before you get carried away in the hysteria of winning products, try and figure out what you like, what you're buying online, and then you can market it. Throughout my whole life, I've always been interested in reading, and that led me to start writing. I've written novels, travel histories, audiobooks. I've written videos for YouTube, obviously, and I figured I should get paid for that, and I'm very lucky to actually be doing that. But I wouldn't have realized that if I didn't reflect on what I was really interested in. Anyway, that was a lot of preamble, but I'm sure it was helpful. So when you're doing product research, try not to get too personally attached to it and don't get bogged down in the specifics and the details of the product. You essentially just want to learn how to market it and get it out there. When I started dropshipping the Fairhead showerhead, I kind of knew that it was just a crappy plastic showerhead. What I really wanted to do was combine a few different showerheads that I saw on AliExpress, send them to a supplier through Alibaba, and make my own custom showerhead that was unique. But I didn't have enough traffic coming to the store, so I couldn't do this kind of thing. My old mentor, Andy Ruzick, once told me that in life, you have to have a broad goal and don't get bogged down in the details. We were standing outside his restaurant, Regatta, which he had just opened. And he said, "You know, Connor, I always knew that I wanted to own a bar. I didn't know it would be called Regatta. I didn't know it would be on the seafront in Takapuna. I didn't know that we would sell fish. I didn't know that we would do cocktails. I just knew I wanted to own a bar." And he said throughout his whole early life, he just aimed towards that goal. He said, "I didn't get too picky. I just knew what I wanted and I got there in the end." And with that, I hope that you find some great products through Viral Launch. I hope that this video has taught you something. Have a great day. Take it easy.